Have you ever felt like you're fighting a battle that no one else can see? Like you're pouring every ounce of your soul into something, with no guarantee it'll ever pay off? Well, let me tell you a story about a man who knew that feeling all too well. For 10 years, his alarm was the first hint of dawn. He didn't just wake up, he launched himself into the cold, dark morning. Rain, sleet, or that biting winter wind. It didn't matter. He was out there, pounding the pavement, his breath pluming in the air like a ghost. His training partners weren't other fighters. They were frozen punching bags hanging in a damp, forgotten gym. He'd hit them until his knuckles were raw, until they split and bled, until the pain was a dull, constant throb. He wasn't training for a cheering crowd or a shiny belt. There was no fame, no spotlight, no reporters asking for his name. There was only a dream, a stubborn, unyielding dream, to one day step into that ring and prove, not to the world, but to himself, that he belonged there. Imagine that dedication. A full decade. That's 3,650 days of sacrifice. While others were sleeping in, he was running. While others were out with friends, he was studying footwork, shadowboxing in front of a cracked mirror. He gave up parties, holidays, and the simple comforts of a normal life. His diet was strict. His discipline was unbreakable. Every day was a test of his will. Was it worth it? Would anyone ever even notice? These questions haunted him, but the dream was always louder than the doubt. Then, after 10 long, grueling years, the call finally came. His first real fight. A professional bout. This was it. The moment he had bled for, sweat for, and sacrificed everything for. You'd think this would be his triumphant arrival, right? Wrong. When people saw him, when they heard his story, they didn't see a decade of dedication. They just saw an unknown. They laughed. They pointed. "He's too slow," one person scoffed. "Look at his footwork, it's clumsy," said another. The whispers in the crowd were like 1,000 tiny needles. "He's not a real fighter, he won't last a single round." But here's the thing, he wasn't listening. Their words couldn't touch him. He had spent 10 years battling his own inner demons, his own exhaustion, his own despair. The opinions of strangers were just noise. He wasn't stepping into that ring to fight for their approval. He was fighting for every single night he had gone to bed hungry, because he couldn't afford a proper meal. He was fighting for every door that had been slammed in his face, for every promoter who had turned him away. He was fighting for every single person who had ever looked him in the eye and said, "You'll never make it." This fight wasn't about the man across the ring from him. This fight was about his entire life. The bell rang. The sound echoed through the arena, a sharp, clear signal that the time for waiting was over. His opponent, the crowd favorite, came out swinging, aggressive and confident. He was faster, maybe even stronger. Our fighter absorbed the initial onslaught, his face a mask of pure focus. He was patient. He was waiting. He had waited 10 years for this moment. He could wait a few more seconds. 1 minute into the round, a powerful right cross came flying toward his head. And in that split second, everything slowed down. All those years of training, all those pre-dawn runs and bloody knuckles, it all converged. He dodged the punch with perfect, almost impossible timing. The glove whistled past his ear. The crowd gasped. Before his opponent could even reset, he countered. A lightning-fast left hook that landed flush on the jaw. Then, without a moment's hesitation, a straight right that followed through with the force of a decade of frustration. His opponent's eyes glazed over. His legs buckled, and he hit the mat, hard. For a heartbeat, there was absolute silence, the kind of silence that's so total you can hear your own heart pounding in your ears. The entire arena held its breath, stunned, and then, chaos. The crowd erupted. People were on their feet, screaming, their disbelief turning into a roar of astonishment. They had just witnessed the impossible. 10 years of pain, 10 years of solitude and sacrifice. It had all been for this. For 60 seconds of pure, unadulterated glory. As the referee rushed in and began the count, our fighter just stood there, breathing heavily. He looked down at his fallen opponent, not with arrogance, but with a quiet understanding. The ref's count finished. He waved his arms. It was over. The crowd went wild, but the fighter barely seemed to notice. The referee grabbed his wrist and lifted his arm high into the air, the symbol of victory. Cameras flashed. People cheered his name, a name they had been mocking just minutes before. But in that moment of ultimate triumph, as the whole world celebrated him, he leaned in and whispered to his coach so quietly that almost no one could hear. It was never about winning. It was about not quitting. That's a story that sticks with you, isn't it? It's a powerful reminder that the real battles in life aren't always the ones fought under the bright lights. The real victories are the ones we win against ourselves day after day, in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It's about the refusal to give up on your dream, no matter how many people tell you it's impossible. What's your dream? What's the thing you're willing to fight for, even when no one else believes in you? Let that story be a fire in your belly. Remember that your journey, your struggle, your refusal to quit, that is your true victory. The glory is just the bonus. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this story with you. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content that inspires. I'll see you in the next one.